Ever get that like tingly feeling in your brain when you hear certain sounds?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like not just relax, but oh, there's that pleasant shiver down your spine.
Yeah, yeah.
That's ASMR, and that's what we're diving into today, or specifically how AI is going to, well, completely change the game for ASMR.
It's wild, right?
So, before we get ahead of ourselves, what is ASMR? For someone who has maybe never actually experienced it for themselves.
Okay, so it's all about certain sounds, sometimes even visuals, that trigger these like waves of tingles, usually starting in your scalp and then kind of spreading down. It's deeply relaxing and honestly different for everyone.
And it's not just some fad, right? Our sources this week are saying there's real science behind this.
Oh, yeah, definitely. One of the big ones is this thing called affective neuroscience. It's basically saying our brains are hardwired to connect certain sounds with, like, feeling safe, feeling comforted.
So, like, instinctively, we hear someone, I don't know, like folding laundry really calmly or whispering, and our brains are like, ah, we're good.
Exactly. It's like those sounds are little keys, and when they hit the right spot in your brain, boom, those good vibes, they just like flood in. It's like an oxytocin boost, but for your ears.
And so many of the ASMR triggers I've seen do seem to be about those primal things, right?
Yeah.
Like soft voices, gentle movements, the sounds of like caregiving or methodical tasks.
Right, and that actually ties into the polyvagal theory, which is all about how our nervous system is always on the lookout for danger signals. These soft, predictable ASMR sounds, they basically shout safety to our nervous system, and that's when we can really relax.
Makes sense, like tricking our brain into chill mode. But then there's also that feeling of like getting lost in ASMR.
Totally. That's that flow state everyone's talking about, where you're so engrossed in something, you lose track of everything else. And that's where ASMR can be super powerful because it provides that perfect level of engagement without like overload.
And this is where AI comes in. And well, from what I've been reading, things are about to get really, really interesting.
Right, because it's not just about making ASMR sounds louder or clearer. It's about AI learning what you specifically like, what gives you those tingles, and then tailoring the entire experience just for you.
Okay, so we're talking about AI becoming like personal ASMR DJs for our brains. This is getting good. Tell me more.
Basically, it's about making those tingles more accessible, personalized, and ultimately way more effective.
So we've been talking a lot about sounds, but
Hmm.
what about the visuals? I mean, I know people who get that ASMR feeling from watching like someone paint or organize things perfectly.
Totally. Visual ASMR is huge, and AI is going to change that game too. Because right now, you're limited by what you can actually film, right?
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So what's AI going to do that's so different?
Think about this. Imagine a video where every little thing you see is made just for you, for what you love.
Okay, I'm listening. Give me an example.
Let's say you're into those soap cutting videos, right? But maybe you hate the scraping sound. AI can create a silent version, but the visuals, the soap, the hands, it's all crazy realistic.
No way. So I could actually watch those without hitting mute. That's amazing.
Exactly. Or calligraphy videos, maybe the pen scratching sound bugs you. AI can make it silent, but you still get that mesmerizing ink flow, every detail.
It's like you can pick and choose your sensory experience. I love that. And our sources talk about this going even further than just like regular video.
Oh, yeah, we're talking VR, virtual reality. Imagine putting on a headset and you're in an ASMR world designed just for what you love. Like, are you into those super organized spaces? Boom, AI puts you in a virtual library, endless shelves of perfectly aligned books. Maybe you can even touch and straighten them virtually, if that's your thing.
Now that is next level, like stepping inside ASMR, wild.
And then there's AI role play, which is a whole other thing.
Oh yeah, I was going to say, what about the whole AI generating the actual role play part of ASMR?
That's where it gets really interesting. Because now, instead of listening to a recording, you're interacting with the AI. It's learning your preferences, creating unique scenarios, and dialogue on the fly.
Okay, so instead of just listening to like a pretend librarian whispering about books, the AI could make up a whole scenario just for me.
Exactly. Maybe you're a royal scholar being guided through a secret archive by a, very soft-spoken AI librarian, whatever you're into. And each time it gets to know you better, so it's always getting more personalized.
Okay, so this is all amazing, but is there a downside? I mean, AI taking over ASMR, is there something we should be like looking out for with all this?
It's a good point because, yeah, like any technology, especially something this powerful, it could be used in ways that aren't so great. Or, well, maybe not bad, but definitely things to like keep in mind.
Okay, so what kind of things are we talking about here? What do we need to be aware of?
Well, one thing our sources brought up is this idea of like people becoming too reliant on AI for their ASMR. If it gets so good at creating these hyper personalized experiences, will people stop, I don't know, going to live ASMR shows or even just like wanting to hear a real human voice?
Hmm, that's a good point. It's kind of like how we worry about social media sometimes, like,
Hmm.
is it really connecting us or just making us more isolated? But instead of scrolling through feeds, it's disappearing into these perfect AI-generated sensory worlds.
Exactly. And then there's the whole issue of accessibility. I mean, new tech, it always seems like the rich get it first, right? It'd be a shame if something with so much potential to help people relax, to feel better, if that became just another luxury good.
Yeah, for sure. We definitely don't want to see AI-powered ASMR
Hmm.
making the gap between the haves and have-nots even bigger. But honestly, after learning all this stuff, I'm feeling pretty hopeful.
Me too. I think if we use AI thoughtfully, ethically, it can actually make ASMR better, make it something everyone can enjoy, and in a way that really works for them.
Imagine, right? Like AI helping us figure out what our brains and bodies need even better than we can. And all those amazing tingly feelings, they're right there at our fingertips, whatever we need them.
And because of that, maybe we start to understand our own senses better, and that helps us connect with ourselves and with other people in ways we haven't even thought of yet. That's a future I'm excited to see.
Me too. Well, folks, there you have it. Our deep dive into the world of AI-powered ASMR.
Hmm.
Talk about a journey for the senses.
And it sounds like the future of those brain tingles. Pretty bright. AI is going to change how we relax, how we unwind, maybe even how we connect, and it's happening fast.
So true. Until next time, happy listening.